That's the theme from Midnight Cowboy from an album entitled The Best of John Barry. Tomorrow being the anniversary of the 25th year of Elvis's death, we're doing a little tribute to him, playing some of his music and doing a competition for a wonderful Elvis book as well. I hope you can join me then. In the meantime, do stay tuned because it's Gerry Anderson.
I knew all about Elvis before anyone else did.
Did you?
Yes. I used to play with a guy who was a good friend of Elvis a long time ago in the 70s, about 1972, and he used to tell me about Elvis. And I used to tell other people what I knew about Elvis, and he used to always say, I don't believe that, he seems a nice guy.
Did he used to go fishing in the River Foyle?
No, he used to pull knives on people.
Oh?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, I knew all about the CD past. I'm a friend of the stars. Nobody knows about the things that I know about, our legends.
Did you back him on blue suede shoes on your little bass guitar?
No, I was too late. I know a lot about the inside story on May McFetridge as well.
Oh, no, don't go there.
And I know all about...
Don't go there. May McFetridge's coming in me next week. I don't want you blowing any of the inside information. Tomorrow morning, in fact, May's coming.
You don't like me talking to your guests.
No.
I talked to your guest the other day. You're talking to Paddy Kilty. You got annoyed because I talked to him.
Patrick Kilty.
You're very possessive about your guests, aren't you?
Patrick Kilty.
Paddy Kilty. Paddy Kilty. You're very obsessive about your guests. You'll have to stop. It's your BBC.
I'm not going to let you near May McFetridge.
I'm going to talk to May McFetridge. We go back a long way.
No.
Listen, John, you should know on the BBC these days we have to indulge in blue sky thinking. It's our BBC, altogether inclusive, and share your guests.
What's that word Mr. Dyke keeps using? Can't quite
Cut the crap.
Those 3 words.
Make it happen.
4 words. 5, 6.
Blue sky thinking. That's 2 words.
That's 9 words. You get too fast for me.
I'm on top of it all, John. This is a new BBC. You have to catch up here.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Right, now the one on your left...
is the what?
That's the one you push up to start.
Hold on, let me just try this.
Go on. That's it.
Wow! Oh, thank you.
Bye-bye.
I needed your help. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, John Bennett in Belfast. Thank you, Joe Gallagher up here on BBC Radio Foyle, sitting in for Susan McReynolds. Are we pinking again? I detected a pink there. Hope we're not going to pink today. I don't like it when we pink. It puts me off my thought processes, slender though they may be. This is Welcome to Tomorrow. I love this.
Welcome into my house. Come along and follow me to a place that you've never been, a mystic fantasy. Take a ride and go with me in a time and a space. I'll show you things that you never knew existed in another place. I wanna know. I wanna know. Are you ready? Are you ready? You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? You ready? Are you ready? Welcome to tomorrow.
earlier. That's Welcome to Tomorrow. That's a lovely song. Right. Some emails here. Incidentally, if you want to contact this programme, the number to ring is 08459 555 678 or use our email, jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. I've got an email already from a lady called Trudy in Newton Ards. She says, it won't be long now. A lady with some yearning in her voice. No more teenagers taking over the radio in the morning. No more MTV. No more cartoons. I'll be able to listen to you once again. What could be better? A cup of coffee in peace and quiet and you sorting out everyone's problems. Roll on, August the 30th. I don't know if you'll read this out. I probably won't be able to hear it because my children will have taken over the radio or are watching TV or indeed cartoons or MTV or indeed Radio 1. Obviously talking about the children going back to school. A-level results are out today. I have to apologise to all those people who didn't get the results that they wanted and all the parents who are disappointed that their children won't be solicitors, accountants and stuff like that. But remember, it's good for them not to be those things. And here's a letter from a lady in Ballymoney. She says, I hope you can help me. I heard you read a poem one day written by your resident poet. Yes, Mr. Manderson. I thought it was very good and actually meant to write to you sooner. Would there be any chance of you reading it again or even getting me a copy as I would leave it? I would love to have it read out at my little club, which I attend on a Monday. The poem is about people getting benefits and money from Consignia, best known to you as the Royal Mail. It was about collecting the money in advance around holidays. Please give us a little mention at the Young at Heart Club. Well, I will. I'll hook that out for you. Speaking of emails, speaking of things that problems that are solved, here's something that came to my attention yesterday, actually. And this is a scam, which you should be aware of. The gentleman sent this to me and says this is what's going on all over England, and we're not sure if anyone's done it in Northern Ireland, but he suspects that it has happened. This is what happens. Right, picture the scene. You're at home. Right. There's a knock on the door. On answering it, there's a respectable-looking woman in a suit, a power suit. She looks slightly distressed. She explains that her car is broken down further down the road and she needs to contact her husband to come to her aid. Is it possible that they could use your phone? You being a genuine citizen, a concerned citizen, a person who's always in touch with your fellow man, you say, of course, come in. You allow her to use the phone, but being the suspicious type, you stand with her as she makes the call. She dials the number and asks to be put through to Mr. McFetridge or Mr. Smith or whoever. She holds the line for about 30 seconds. And then she speaks into the phone. She says, in that case, can you ask him to leave the meeting for a minute? I need to speak to him quite urgently. She turns around to you and she apologises and she explains that the people are getting her husband out of a meeting. A couple of minutes goes by and she starts to speak to her husband. She explains the situation to him, tells him what has happened to the car, is annoyed because she now can't get to her meeting and asks what she should do now. She listens for a few seconds and then says, all right then, well, as soon as the meeting finishes, come down to Lisburn Road, wherever the car might be breaking down. Another few seconds go by and she says, okay, I'll see you in about 20 minutes then. She puts down the phone and thanks you ever so much for your kind assistance, even offering you £1 for your trouble. But of course, you being a concerned and indeed a good citizen, you decline, saying, not at all, love, you keep your money, it's no trouble, always glad to help. She leaves and everything is fine. But is it? No. The day or week before knocking on your door, she set up her own premium rate line with the telephone company at a cost of about 150 quid. And she's dictated that calls to that number should be charged at 50 quid a minute. She's dialed that number. The conversation she has had with her husband is entirely fictitious. There is a pre-recorded voice message on the other end to give the impression she's talking to someone. She's been on the phone for 5 minutes. That call just cost you 250 quid, the majority of which goes into her pocket. And the first you know about it is when you get your bill a month later. To rub the salt into the wound, she hadn't even committed a criminal offence because you give her permission to use your phone. There's been 5 cases of this happening in England. So be careful. There we are. Anderson, guarding of the public purse. Here's another. Oh no, I won't read that. No. Speaking of our resident poet, Mr. Manderson has sent me a poem, and it's quite perceptive, and it's called "Back to the Dark Ages." It's talking about young people, and indeed many of us share this. But then again, young people have always been horrible, and they always will be. When I was young, I was horrible too, but I didn't know it until I grew up and realised I was horrible. But by then, it was too late. This is a poem called "Back to the Dark Ages," concerning the habits of our young. The whole world is sliding, it's slipping quite fast, back to the Stone Age, back to the past. I've studied this phenomenon, and I've worked it out just by observing what is happening round about. What gives things away, what gives me this knowing, is simply the way younger generations are going. They're more like animals in all of their acts, but let me acquaint you with the more salient facts. They're nasty with no manners, like 8 men of old. They don't heed their elders, or do as they're told, always consistently involved in some dodgy caper, also eating burgers and chips from out of a paper. Well, you see, there's nothing new in that. We all did that ourselves. Remember the old fish supper stuck in the bottom of the bag? Observe them closely and watch their ways, mouths plastered with grease and mayonnaise, with fingers tearing or pulling, baps and meat apart. Can anyone not realise that this is but the start? KFC and McDonald's are now the in thing, not forgetting others such as Burger King. They stand outside in groups, eating fried chicken, licking their fingers. It would make you sicken. Isn't their actions more than hysteric, sometimes bordering on the barbaric, reminding one of our ancestry and of the way things used to be? As a likeness in history, remember Henry VIII, that kingly fat slob of ponderous weight, who mastered the art of finger-eating, beheading women, and also wife-beating. He didn't use kitchen utensils with which to eat, nor did his courtiers or any of his elite. They simply stuffed themselves with lots of food, with greasy hands and no cutlery, as they should. Also, when eating victuals or supping their ale, after dining on venison, pheasant or quail, it's like today's teenagers with Miller's or WKD and burgers from fast food outlets. Now, don't you see? Teenagers also drink these Bacardi breezers, which seem to suit these back-to-basic geezers. Drinking out of bottles with no need for a glass, does this not remind you of days gone past? You can see them at corners, gulping it down in hamlets, villages, city and town, swigging from bottles, standing in a clan. Tell me we aren't slipping, that's if you can. Cup or glass, the knife, fork and spoon will soon be outdated. You'll notice this soon. This eating with fingers, drinking from bottle or can, will soon return us to the age of Ape Man. I think you're being a little hysteric, Davy Manderson. I remember as a child, as a young teenager, standing at the corner of Maggie Field's chip shop with a bag of chips, fish supper, eating them with my fingers, and then after that getting a cheap bottle of wine, we used to call it Blue Streak, from Dalton's bar. Round the back door, you knock on the door, and then you go round a back lane and drink from the bottle. We do exactly the same thing. We're doing exactly the same things as young people do today. So lay off the young people. They're doing exactly the same things as we did. Have a bit of sense. I'll be talking to Brendan Murphy from The Four of Us and Paul Casey, who are going to appear in the Earth Music Festival in Derry, Stoke, Londonderry this Saturday. Be speaking to them after 11 o'clock. Brendan Murphy, of course, is from The Four of Us, and this is one of their biggest songs. The Four of Us, Mary. This is the updated version, which I prefer, actually, to be honest with you. I'm beginning to sound like a real DJ. I'm getting worried about myself. I may have to join the union and pay the dues.
Mary's got a new job, she's working in the bank, making lots of money and giving it to Frank. Frank's a married boyfriend, been that way for a year. Slapped her in the face once, but says he loves her dear. Oh, Mary, why don't you have some sense? Please do something to restore my confidence. He's met another woman and traveling on his own. He wrote a loving message and left it by the phone. Mary still knows nothing, as innocent as snow. Everyone has heard the truth, but no one lets it show. Oh, Mary, why don't you have some sense? Please do something to restore my confidence. Oh, Mary, why don't you have some sense? Please do something to restore my confidence. Let it go now. Mary's got a new job, she's working for herself, making lots of money and thinking of her health. She's colder than November, as hard as she would will. There's times I lie there thinking I miss the warm days. Oh, Mary, why don't you have some sense? Please do something. Why don't you have some confidence? Please do something. Why don't you have my confidence? Please do something. Why don't you have my confidence? Oh, Mary, why don't you have some sense? Please do
That's Mary. That's my band called The Four of Us. Mark, please mention the Macaroni Festival in Ballycastle on the 18th of August on Sunday. Macaroni. Hey? Mark Mulholland is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hello, Ger. How are you?
Do you know what macaroni is?
I do.
Come on.
He's signed for Middlesbrough.
No, I know. I happen to know what macaroni is. Come on, I'm testing your general knowledge. You're an actor. You're a man who knows things.
It's a very nice Italian dessert.
It is. It's not an Italian dessert, actually. Really, it's an Italian form of pasta. But there are two other meanings for the word. What are the two other meanings? Do you ever hear this rhyme? Yankee Doodle went to town, rode upon his pony, put a feather in his cap, and called it macaroni. Now, is that an Italian dessert?
No, but I backed it each way the last time it was out, and it was beat.
Just for the benefit of the BBC always maintains that their programmes are here to educate, inform, and entertain.
Of course.
So we inform and we entertain, but we also educate. Macaroni is a 17th century dandy affecting continental fashions. In other words, Yankee Doodle, who went to town to ride upon his pony, put a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. He affected to become a continental dandy.
That sounds a bit like me.
And also macaroni, do you know what macaroni, another sense of macaroni, is a form of burlesque whereby you recite verse on the stage and use foreign phrases. People think
that sounds even more like me.
Do you know what happened here? I've turned into John Bennett.
You are.
Anyway, you're not here.
Are we still in speaking terms?
I don't see any reason why we should have fallen out. I can't remember. Have we fallen out at any stage?
Of course, we fall out all the time.
I know we do, but we haven't fallen out.
You called me an out in York the last time I was talking to you.
But that's only normal conversation. I do that as a matter of course. But I hope you didn't take offence in any way.
I was shattered, Gerry.
I know. We see you're very
I
French.
went off the drink for 3 weeks after that.
Well, that must have been serious.
It was.
must have cut you to the quick to lead you to take that kind of remedial action. But this is now why any past insults that I've thrown in your direction, please ignore them for the following 5 minutes.
Yes, because you see, I am chairman of the Hugo Duncan Appreciation Society.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, except to say I hope you feel better soon. But tell me, you're involved in a play as well, which is running at the moment.
At the minute, right, yeah, a cracking play. It's called Working Class Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on Robert Tressel's book, The Ragged Trousered Philanthropist, and that's hard to say with your teeth in.
It certainly is.
But it's playing, and here's a challenge for you now. It's playing at the Archland na Carrig on the White Rock Road.
I think that's translated as the Theatre on the Rock.
Yes. But now, you see, this is something you don't know, that in the Irish language, there is no word for theatre, because theatre is a Greek word.
It is indeed.
And so Archlan means the place to see.
In other words, a bit of cheating going on there.
Yeah, well, the place to see is
a make-up word. They don't want to use the word theatre. No, I've heard of this play before. We had someone on talking about it before.
Yeah, and our director, Pam Brighton, was on with you before.
And it did extremely well, but it's
packed out the first week, so we kept it on for the second week. So we only have 3 more nights to go.
So this is the second week this week?
It finishes on Saturday night.
All right.
And we had to turn people away last week, unfortunately. I hate to see people being turned away.
I know, because you've experienced it so many times yourself.
I know.
Turned away from boozers.
I know. But it really is a very fine piece of work. Brenda Murphy adapted it. Now, I know you know the book.
Yes.
And it's a big, thick book. And to try to condense that into, a 2-hour show was a massive task. But she's done a wonderful job on it. And she's updated it to the outdoor relief riots in Belfast in 1932.
Pam was saying at the time one of the reasons why she put it on was because people today don't use the word socialist at all. The word socialist...
Right. I mean, the younger generation don't know the meaning of the word, and they get confused between communism and socialism. Mm-hmm. And there is a very distinct difference.
I know people don't seem to care too much about socialism these days. It's become one of those things that has been put on the back burner.
Well, this is, hopefully, as you say, the BBC is there to inform and educate.
And entertain.
And entertain.
So who else is in it apart from your good self?
Well, John Hewitt's in it with me.
Of course,
the old pal John.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just talking the other night, and John said to me, you know, it's amazing, Mark. He says, this is only 70 years ago that we're talking about here. And no lessons seem to have been learned in the last 70 years. I mean, things are as bad today, nearly, as they were then.
I know.
And I mean, the poverty level of some sections of the community is dreadful.
I know.
And people just do not seem to have learned any lessons in 70 years.
People never learn anything.
I know.
I remember watching a program with Arthur Miller, the great playwright, who for a short period was married to Marilyn Monroe.
That's right.
And who would deny him that?
Yeah.
And he was saying, he was talking about his religious beliefs, and he said he couldn't believe in God.
Yeah.
And the interviewer said, why? It's because God must be so bored. And the interviewer said, why? It's because he's been sitting up there for millions of years, and people just get born and do the same things over and over again, make the same mistakes. Nobody ever learns anything. How does he stack? How does he stick it? They all grow up, and then they drive cars at 100 miles an hour until they're 25, and then they settle down, they have children, and they fight with their wives, and then they get divorced, and then they do all the same things. He said, God must be browned off.
Aye. But the one thing I want to say to the punters out there, this is a wonderful opportunity to see this, but we're going to put it in mothballs for a few months before we take it out on tour.
All right.
It has a very special message, obviously, but there's plenty of laughs in it.
Yeah. Okay.
A few tears, and it makes for a very pleasant evening in the theatre.
It's not all proselytizing. Catholics can go as well.
Oh, no. It's the exact opposite, because in the outdoor relief riots of 1932, Catholic and Protestant poor stood side by side to try to earn a crust for their families.
Oh, the politicians soon put them out of that way of working, didn't they? No, they can't have that. Can't have everybody working together. They ruin the whole system.
But,
do you realise that the system, the way it is here, is just amazing? I'm sure you've been following in the newspapers. The staff at Stormont is equal almost to that of the White House. Did you read that?
I know that.
There's more people working in Stormont than there is in the English government and the Southern Irish government put together.
This is why I don't talk to politicians.
Neither do I.
I have no time for them.
This is why I avoid talkback like the bubonic plague.
on me.
Listen, Mark, for the benefit of people who don't know who are outside the city, where is this theatre?
It's the College of Further Education on the White Rock Road. Can't miss it. It's the old St. Thomas's School.
All right, then.
And they can't miss it at the drive up. And there's a big poster of me and Vincent Higgins.
No, that'll put them off for a start. That'll keep the rats away. All right, so that's...
Just while I'm talking here about, we have a smashing fella in the cast, a fella called Terry O'Neill. Now, he's just brought out a CD. It's called Inextricably Linked. Now, you probably might remember Terry. He's about to go out on tour with a show called Paddy on the Road.
Oh, yes.
It's a tribute to Christy Moore.
Christy Moore. I'm a big fan of Christy Moore's.
I know. But I'm going to get him to send you a copy of the CD, Gerry. Because
please do.
He's a smashing voice.
Listen,
and he sings a few songs on the show as well.
What about your film career? Have you been doing anything recently? You were very prominent there for a while. Have you?
Funny enough, my agent Patrick Duncan was at the show last night, and he gave me a wee tip of a wee short film I did earlier this year with my old mate Jimmy Ellis.
Yes.
It's called Short Back and Sides.
Yes.
And it's a wee 10-minute film, but it's very funny. It's set in a barber shop, obviously, as the name implies. And it's a very fun. Jimmy's the barber.
Is that like a thing would end up on TV?
It will go out. I think in the Northern Lights series.
Oh yes.
It'll go out. I think it's October or November. It'll be going out along with three other short films.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. I think it's BBC. I'm not sure whether it's BBC One or BBC Two.
Okay.
It'll be going out on that.
All right then, Mark. The best of luck with the play.
I'm looking at one or two other wee options at the moment as well.
All right.
Gerry, it's great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Mark. And people make a beeline for your door.
Yes, on the White Rock Road, the College of Further Education. The doors open 7:30. Nice wee bar up the stairs, and we'll kick off at 8 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
And we're on till Saturday.
Okay, Mark, best of luck to you. Nice to talk to you.
Gerry, good to talk to you again, my old son.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Now William Butler Yeats and Jeans got up to play guitar and sing in some joint in Mission Beach last night. And at the door sat Tom Waits in a pork pie hat and silver skates, and he's juggling 3 collection plates. Jesus Christ. Towns Van Zant's standing at the bar, skinning a Hollywood movie star, and he can't remember where he parked his car or to whom he lost the keys. But he's full of angst and hillbilly haiku. What's a poor Fort Worth boy to do? Go on, rhyme something for him, man. Show him how you really feel. There ain't no money in poetry, that's what sets the poet free. I've had all the freedom I can stand. You got your cold dog soup and rainbow pie, all it takes to get me by. Fool my belly till the day I die. Cold dog soup and rainbow pie. Ginsberg and Kerouac, shooting dice, playing Ramblin' Jacks, guitar with a cowboy painting pickguard on it. And they sat in the back and they drank for free, and they rhymed orange with Rosalie. Now there's a pride of lines to draw to. Oh, there ain't no money in poetry, that's what sets the poet free. And I've had all the freedom I can stand. Red cold dog soup and rainbow pie, all it takes to get me by. Fool my belly till the day I die. Cold dog soup and rainbow pie. There ain't no money in poetry, that's what sets the poet free. And I've had all the freedom I can stand. Cold dog soup and rainbow pie, all it takes to get me by. Fool my belly till the day I die. Cold dog soup and rainbow pie.
That's Guy Clark. That's a song called Cold Dog Soup from an album by Guy Clark called Cold Dog Soup. Ain't no money in poetry. That's what set the poet free. I've had all the freedom I can stand. That should be planted on the foreheads of every poet. Frances McElkearney sends me an email. She says, excellent statement about A-levels and solicitors and accountants. I failed all my exams 20 years ago. It didn't do me any harm at all. I'm very happy, I think. Well, there we are. She's from... sorry, maybe it's he. Oh, it's he. I'm sorry. I called her a she for no reason. Sorry about that creaking noise. It's me swinging the mic around. And I mentioned that the Macaroni Festival Day will be taking place in Ballycastle on Sunday the 18th of August. Of course, it is the Marconi Festival in Ballycastle. It was called Dyslexia. I'm sorry about that. It's exactly 11 o'clock.
92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Good morning. With the news, I'm Malachy McCourt. It's emerged that more than 20 patients at one of Belfast's biggest hospitals are waiting on trolleys because of a shortage of beds. 24 patients are waiting in the Ulster Hospital's Accident and Emergency Unit. 4 have been waiting more than 17 hours for a bed. The hospital says it's an unacceptable situation and that staff are working to alleviate it. An 18-month-old baby has been treated in hospital after a fire in Londonderry. 5 people, including the baby and a 15-year-old girl, were rescued from the fire in Ballymacrorty. It was started by a chip pan in a house in Joyce Court. Fire officer John Moran says those in the house had a narrow escape.
On arrival, we discovered that, in fact, 3 persons and the child had been rescued from the first floor by a neighbour using a ladder, and a 5th member of the family actually escaped through a downstairs window. When we arrived, the kitchen was well alight and the rest of the house was smoke-logged. Considering that the house was full of smoke and the occupants had taken some smoke already, yes, they were very, very lucky to get out.
The Home Office has denied reports that it's considering the creation of a dedicated task force similar to the American FBI in the wake of the Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman investigation. The 2 girls have been missing from their Cambridgeshire homes for 11 days. Tony Arbour from the Metropolitan Police Authority is among those saying an FBI-style force might achieve quicker results in such cases.
Every local police force has enormous pride and they don't want to call in Scotland Yard, and it's easy to see that there could be rivalries, but if at the end of the day you bring criminals to book or perhaps rescue children, then I think that you should put those squabbles aside.
The 4th anniversary of the Omagh bomb will be commemorated in the town shortly. Senior police officers and victims' relatives will be among those attending a short cross community service in the Memorial Garden. David Bolden, who managed the Omagh Trauma Centre, said it was important to mark the day.
Anniversaries do tend to focus our memories. I often feel, however, that for those who have suffered most grievously, any day could be an anniversary. But the importance of anniversaries at a community level is that they do mark time, and I think we do see 4 years out from the tragedy, significant progress and change has been made in the life of the community, and also, thankfully, in the lives of many individuals.
A 16-year-old boy from Straban's in hospital after a paramilitary-style assault. The teenager was taken from his home at O'Nolan Park last night and driven across the border where he was beaten. He was discovered near the border at Ballindrate. 3 men are due to appear at Craigavon Magistrates Court this morning charged with riotous assembly. The charges relate to disturbances at Drumcree in July. Many towns and cities across Central Europe are still underwater. At Dresden in Germany, floodwaters are continuing to rise, but water levels in the Czech capital Prague are beginning to recede.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Travel news. In Belfast, the city-bound on-slip at Blacks Road remains closed. That was due to an earlier accident this morning. And a parade is taking place in Kilkeel today. As a result, expect disruption to traffic between now and midday, and also between 5 and 6 this evening. Diversions will be in place and motorists are advised to avoid the area. And roads are closed in and around Dundrod area until 5:30. It's the practice race for the Grand Prix circuit today. If you're travelling to the international airport, do leave some extra time. Deirdre Harshaw with the travel news.
And now a look at the weather. Much brighter today with some sunny spells, but it will feel cooler in the brisk breeze and the top temperature of 19 degrees Celsius. BBC Radio Ulster News.
Right, welcome back. It's 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. The number to ring if you want to contact me is 08459 555 678. Email if you wish, gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. I'll be talking to Brendan Murphy from the 4 of us and Paul Casey just right after this. This is the 4 of us.
It's late, but not too late. Now you should know better than that. You're on fire without even knowing. I'm on the street saying things I probably regret. Just a way to get you going. Hey, running like rivers in the rain. Every time I see your face, there are some things that you should never explain. Stand up, slow down and help to make me change.
that's changed. That's from the four of us. That's from an album called Classified Personal. Brendan Murphy is here. Good morning, Brendan. In fact, hold on a minute. Don't speak. Try that.
What's that like?
We're all colour-coded here. They forgot to tell me that I'm colourblind. And then to further confuse me, they put the different colours on the wrong things. How about you? All right?
I'm good. I got the yellow one here.
That's good.
Yeah,
Looks
I'm happy
yellow.
with that.
Looks yellow to me.
No.
We're talking to Paul Casey. How are you? So try that one.
Good.
Oh, I've got the two of them. Excellent. Brendan, I'm going to indulge myself a little today. We're going to talk about the Earth Music Festival in Brehon Plainfields in Derry, Stoke, Londonderry. The reason I'm talking about it really is we don't get concerts like this up here very often, you know. So I hope listeners in Newry, of course, Newry's now a city as well.
That's right.
I forgot all about that. You're a city boy as well.
That's absolutely.
You used to be a townie, but now you're a city boy. So I hope people down in Enniskillen and all around the whole place, Dublin, everywhere, you know, forgive us talking about this, because it's quite a big thing for us up here, because the Northwest, as you know, has probably been starved, you know, because of a lack of venue. And the first big one we had was last year with Brian Adams, but that's not my cup of tea. But everybody enjoyed it. So what we have this year is Paul Casey, of course, you're on, the Revs, the four of us, Undertones, Deacon Blue, Waterboys, Van Morrison. Now there's two stages. In the Nerve Centre stage, Fallout, Little Hooks, Kid Dynamo, Turn, Sirocco, MCs, Throat, Desert Hearts, Clear Shot, Berkeley, Pugwash, whom I like a lot, and Monday. So there's two stages. It's a kind of a family day. The tickets are £29.50 and there's still some available. And you can go along there. It's a whole day thing, and children under 12 are can go free if they're with an adult. And there's all kinds of fun fairs and stuff. And I hope there's no drink, because you know how much I disapprove of that. But the four of us now, I've always been a big fan, to be honest, Brendan. People know that. And what have you been doing recently?
We have been working on a new album since really all of this year. So
you're notoriously slow at doing it. I think the last one took 10 years.
We are notoriously slow. I can't really figure that out, you know. And it's one of those ones where we say, this next album, right, we're going to go and record it in 2 weeks, you know, and 6 months later. But this actually has been a relatively fast process for us this year. But now we're being advised that maybe we should release it in January, because Christmas isn't a good time to release it. So people are going to think we're slow again. So you can't really win, you know.
So what kind of an album is it?
It's I think with this album we sort of said that we definitely didn't want it to be a rock album.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think that our last couple of albums have been acoustic.
Yeah.
And we like that at the minute. That's just...
Didn't you, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you spend a lot of time on an album which you subsequently more or less shelved?
Yeah.
Because you didn't like it.
That's right.
But was that a kind of a rock album that you said, I don't want to do this? Was that what happened?
That's what happened. Unfortunately, it took us 3.5 years to make that decision.
So it took you 3.5 years to make a record and shelve it?
That's it.
And 10 years to do one that you wanted to release?
Well, no, I mean, we decided that then after that experience, which I have to tell you was pretty horrendous, we decided, okay, the next album we're going to make it very simple and sort of songy, because that was a problem with the album that we shelved. It wasn't really, you were growing out of it when you were actually making it, you know. And we said, well, let's make an album that we think isn't going to date and it's just about the songs, and that's when we made Classified Personal. And this album we said, well, we like Classified Personal, but the problem was that when we were doing gigs as the four of us, sometimes we felt that we wanted a bigger sound, really, because Classified Person's quite a spare sounding album. So we said, okay, well, let's try and write an album again that's very song based, but get everybody in the room this time to play and make it sound like everybody's in the room playing at the same time. Because it's funny now that if you actually make a record with everybody playing at the same time in the room, it actually sounds alternative, you know. Whereas I suppose in the 60s and the 70s, that's the way most records were made. But now, because most pop albums are done with sort of drum boxes and sequence and clean, we wanted to make an album that sounded like you could imagine you were literally just watching these four people in a room making a record.
Yeah, it's kind of a revolutionary approach, really, when you consider what's going on in other studios. We'll play a track. You've got a track here, which the album hasn't been released yet, but you've got a track from it, haven't you? Really?
It hasn't been released. It hasn't even been mixed yet. So what I've brought down is a mini disc of what I would call a work in progress.
Okay, we'll play that in a second. We'll come to Paul Casey. Paul, you're a relative newcomer in a way.
Yeah.
What do you think about this recording technique that Brendan has, making it sound natural? Would you be up for that?
Oh, I love that, man. I mean, I try to get as much time recording as possible myself, and I just like to record with the band because it sounds more natural that way. You know, just a bunch of guys jamming in a room, and you get great results that way.
You're from here, Paul,
Yeah.
right? You're from the city, and it must be quite difficult for you. I mean, I hear a lot of talk about you, but you haven't really broken through in any commercial sense yet. But you're one of those guys that we're going to hear a lot about.
Yeah,
I think.
well, I'm niggling away, slow but sure, like. But we're getting there, and this festival is definitely a great thing for me to play. You know, it's going to raise the profile up extra, and hopefully we can get something out of it.
You had an album out a while ago called "Beautiful Thing." What did you make of that? Did you like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like, you know, I mean, and the feedback we're getting on it is really good, and I just want to see how far we can take it. And
Well, what kind of live music scene is there these days for someone like yourself with the band? Do you find it difficult to do gigs, to find gigs?
yeah, it is difficult, and I mean, it's difficult to pay a band too, you know, because the money's not the best until you move up the ladder, you know. But I mean, I just want to keep playing, and just I love playing, and I'll play for nothing, basically, you know.
No, but Brandon, stop him saying stuff like this. Because, I mean, as you well know, I mean, I remember a time, I played for quite a long time, and when I was finishing playing, I remember coming across people who were paying to play. You know, the scene got so bad that actually people were paying, bands were paying to get on a bill with a bigger band for exposure, you know. So not alone were you paying for nothing, you were paying to play. I mean, I don't think that happens anymore. Or does
it does, yeah.
Really? Is that still going on?
It's got worse.
Really,
yeah,
has it?
Yeah. If you want, I mean, I think particularly with record labels internationally, if say you're quite popular in England, but you want to break into say Germany, then what happens is that the record label, Sony or Warner or whoever, will pay for you to get a support act on a German tour with an act that has got a profile there, and they pay for it, and so the running costs of the other band are reduced. We've done it. We did it with Run Rig, and we did it with
And you have to pay all your expenses as well, do you?
Or hopefully you get the record company to pay it. But of course, you are paying for it ultimately, you know.
And then it suddenly occurs to you that you'd be better off in the dough.
Exactly.
Financially.
Yeah.
But then again, seriously, I mean, it's what you want to do, and sometimes you have to cut those corners.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that. Well, Paul, for the benefit of people who may not be familiar with your work, do you want to pick a track off your album?
Well, there's a track called We Will Sing that a lot of people do like. I spent most of last year in Copenhagen. I met a load of guys out there, and we ended up just jamming in this wee club, and that's actually who's on the track. I brought them over here to Ireland. We recorded it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let's have a listen to that. But do you spend much of your time outside the country?
Well, I try to get over to Copenhagen as much as possible. I have a load of great friends out there now.
Yeah.
And the drummer that I fell in with out there, he's actually here now at the minute playing with me for these gigs.
Yeah.
And it's a great relationship. I mean, he's a great musician. I've learned so much of him, and I just want to continue.
Okay, this is
continue that.
All right, this is a track from Paul Casey band album called "Beautiful Thing." This is called "We Will Sing."
Love to hear ya. Love to hear you sing. You gave me words, words to fill my brain. You gave me hope. You gave me everything. Things I hadn't, no, I hadn't got before. I wish you'd stayed for a while. You made me laugh, yeah, love, you made me smile. Night it fell, smuggled you away. And tears I cried, for I wish you'd stayed. Come back, yeah, and sing your song.
will sing together. We will sing, we will sing all night long. Yes, I sit in this lonely room. Words you said fill me with wisdom. The night it fell, and it smuggled you away. Tears I cried, for I wish you'd stayed. Come back, yeah, and sing your song. We'll sing together. We will sing all night long.
That's the Paul Casey Band. That's a song called We Will Sing from his album called Beautiful Thing. That sounds good, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Who's the girl there?
Like I was in Denmark last year, Copenhagen, and met all these. I fell into. We ended up just jamming. I met the drummer first through an accident. Then Anna Maria, the girl, she was in another band. She was invited along to hear us, and she loved it. And she asked me, could she get up the next night and sing with us? And she did. And they ended up just recording stuff with her and stuff.
Well, you better be very careful if you invite her over here. Did you hear about the 2 Australian tourists yesterday here? Yeah. It's a terribly sad story. They made the mistake of calling the police when their car was damaged, and the police arrived, and there was a riot, and they were ushered home in an armoured car. Can you imagine them going home saying, "No, the law is great. I'll get hell with damn cat." They'd be telling all their friends. Brendan, right, so tell me, do you do many of these type of open air gigs, big festivals like this?
It's funny, I was just saying to Paul, we're doing one tomorrow, or we're doing the Derry one on Saturday, and then on Sunday we're doing one in Phoenix Park. There's a big open air thing in Phoenix Park. I'm expecting 100,000 people at it.
Well, who's all going to be on that?
Samantha Mumba.
Yes. I was reading about that. Samantha Mumba and somebody else.
It's a weird combination of acts. It's a weird combination of acts with Ronan Keating. Try and envisage that, you know.
Ronan Keating. Ronan sounds a little desperate now, doesn't it? Align yourself to
I
Lulu.
wouldn't want to say it. Yeah.
No. You can't say anything like that, but I can.
Okay.
Let me get into it. No, he's a man definitely founder. You know, once he sees his bandmates in Coronation Street, you know, there's something he gets serious about it. So, do you enjoy those things? Because I mean, any time I ever played it, I've never played anything really big, but any time I've ever played anything outdoor, it was always a whole handling. You know, the sound was always terrible and stuff like that. And you could hear nothing. Can you hear anything when you're playing those? I suppose the sound is obviously, if it's of a high quality, anything that I ever played at, you hardly get a monitor. You just batter it away and hope for the best. Do you prefer playing indoors or outdoors?
It really depends on the atmosphere. It's a bit like, it just really depends on the atmosphere on the day. If I've done open airs that were absolutely like the best shows we've ever done and the best fun I've ever had, and I've done open airs that basically I would never want to do again. But having said that, I've done gigs indoors that I feel exactly the same way about. It's a combination of how good you are on the day and how good the crowd is on the day, and how
you don't
good
know
the lineup is.
You don't know when you go out. You don't know when you go out. You don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know if it's going to work or not. You just have to take a chance on it. Just go and do your best. Right. Well, the best of luck to the two of you on Saturday. As I say, it's on all day. It's anyone can go. Bring your kids under 12. You get in for nothing. Go on the roundabout on the slide. Tell me about this new track of yours.
Well, what we are sort of said. Look, we're sort of 3/4 way through this album. I'm doing mini discs of copies of all the songs as they're work in progress. This is just a work in progress of an album track that we've done. This is our country song for this new album.
Okay, so it's a fragrant nosegay.
It is
of the album to come. And thanks, Brendan Murphy, from the four of us coming in. Thank you, Paul Casey. Thanks. Okay, here we go. What's this called again?
Someday Soon.
Right.
It's me, but it's time to make a getaway. I don't know about you, but it's time to make my getaway.
He's mostly confused, he was mostly confined to the water upstream and the watered down wine. He was finding it soft to be drowned in the flood, and he was finding it hard to be misunderstood, and he wanted so much to be misunderstood. So he stood on his ear till he bled from his mouth, from talking too much and from talking too loud. He could tell you exactly just how to survive, but he valued nobody who felt half alive. But I saw him one night on the half side of town, where the windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew him down. He was searching for truth 'cause there was nothing else left. He was caught in the act of being himself. She was mostly a wife, she was mostly a cook. Her head was just one big recipe book. She'd promised herself she'd be right all along, and she could not accept it when she did something wrong. There are knots in her heart and a ring on her hand. She was stretching them both like a tight rubber band. There's moss in her eyes that would not let her see she could trade in her poise for her identity. But I saw her one night on the half side of town, where the windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew them down. She was searching around for some cheap commonwealth. She was caught in the act of being herself. Now it's a beautiful world, but it'll run you around, said the boy to the girl who was chasing her down. You can stand in the rain till your body turns blue, or you can let that warm sun run under on you. Ah, your voice is so calm, said the girl to the boy, but your words are like bullets out to search and destroy. I love you, she said, that's not too much to ask. He said, I'll do the same, as he put on his mask. But I saw him one night on the half side of town, where you can't tell it rained for the dew on the ground. They'd found their hearts to unbroken bells, each caught in the act of being themselves. So there I stood in a parking garage on December the 12th, feeling strong but empty. The wind was cutting through like a needle barrage, leaving nothing to warm me and nothing to tempt me. There's pain in my eyes, but a smile on my face. My heart full of cigarette, my hand full of mace. I was destined to lock my keys in my car for fear of driving my conscience too far. But I saw me one night on the half side of town, where the windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew them down. My conscience was gone, but my anger was still left. I was caught in the act of being myself. I was caught in the act of being myself. I was caught in the act of being myself.
That's one of my all-time favourite songs, and bear with me. That's Mark Germino, Germano. That's from an album called Caught in the Act of Being Ourselves, and that's the title track, which is Caught in the Act of Being Ourselves. And before that was a track from the Four of Us' new album, which is not released yet. I won't tell you what it was because it's only a demo thing. Can you please play Kathy's song by Eva Cassidy for Marie Devine? Well, I don't have that with me, actually. Something by Rodney Crowell for Brian. And could I give details of the Christy Moore CD, which you played yesterday? Well, that's the CD called Christy Moore Live at Vicar Street, which is out at the moment. And the Fiona Apple CD, which I played yesterday, that was a song called Across the Universe, but I don't know where that's from. It was a kind of a compilation that I had made up privately by a man who's very good to me. For Flo, that came out the wrong way, didn't it? For Hello to Flo Bar in Cave Hill Road, who's celebrating a special birthday today. Congratulations to her from all the family. And hello to Stella in Craigavon. A very happy birthday for next week. And bon voyage on your journey to Boston. That's from all your workmates at UBI in Portadown. A caller wants to know where she could get Michael McLeamore videos. Well, funny you should say it. I'm a huge Michael McLeamore fan, especially his books. And I don't know where you would get... You'd probably get the Michael McLeamore. There's a film. Oh, what was the film he did? Oh, God. I can't remember. It was Shakespeare. Oh, Macbeth. Of course it was. Sorry. No, I can't remember what it was, but it would be. You'd probably get that on Amazon or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I'll think of that later. A caller wants advice on getting rid of mice. Jump up in a chair. Lost white and lemon cockatiel yesterday morning in Coleland. Keep an eye out for that. And also a black mongrel lost in Kilfennan yesterday in the Derry-Londonderry area of the Waterside. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello, Gerry?
Yes, who's that?
Good morning, my name is Betty.
Betty, good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, on this lovely sunny morning. I'm using your programme to thank someone who did a very good deed. And it was a young person, and one doesn't hear very many good things about young people nowadays, and I thought...
No, you don't, no.
I would sort of use your programme to thank this chap whom I can't find. Now, the story was my aunt of 88, my Aunt Rachel, fell in Wellington Park about the end of May.
Yeah.
And she was on her own walking along and to a chiropodist, and she fell and she actually broke her nose and cut her face and did everything, around her face. And the young chap was coming behind her, and he ran up to her, he helped her, he looked after her while they got an ambulance, and he went in the ambulance to the hospital with her, and he stayed with her in the hospital until the surgeons stitched her up and fixed her and were able to send for someone to come and help her. All I can tell you is his name is Declan. Yeah. He comes from Dublin and is living in Edenderry, and I would like to publicly thank him for his kindness to my Aunt Rachel.
He stayed the whole time until some member of the family came?
Yes, he stayed the whole time, actually, Gerry, and she was so pleased with him, and she asked him to ring her, and we've been trying and waiting, but there's been no word, and we have no way of getting in touch with this young man, and I really feel he deserves a very big thank you from all of us in our family.
Oh, I'm glad you did that, yeah. Declan, and he's living in Edenderry, and you think he's probably from Dublin?
He's living in Crumlin.
Crumlin, sorry.
Crumlin,
yeah.
And he comes from Dublin. That's all I know. I don't even know anything else about him. She just said he was very young, and he was extremely kind and most solicitous to her.
Well, there you are. You see, people say terrible things about young people today, and then you hear something like that turns the whole thing on its head.
Well, that's what I thought, and
right.
some friends had recommended that I ring you, that you're the best source of thanking people in Northern Ireland for kind deeds.
Oh, well that's nice, thank you. And what's your name? Her name?
My
again?
name's Betty, and it was my Aunt Rachel.
Well, how is she now? Is she okay?
She's grand, actually, very resilient lady, and I'm just on my way to take her out now for a little run.
All right then, okay. You give her all our love, will you?
I will indeed, Gerry, and thank you very much for hearing me out and for doing this for me.
Oh, not at all. Pleasure. Thank you.
All the best. Fully enjoy your programme. Great show.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You throw yourself in the ground. It's time to get used to the dirt. And I belong where I lie, staring up at these gray skies. And who am I lying next to you? And who am I to run away from you? When the wound is open, the blood spills into the coronary mills. Your head to the side.
And you know the beauty helps you stand. But you've been standing for so long. And ooh, I'd be lying next to you. And ooh, they'd run away from you. You feel as easy as you will. You feel as easy as you will. You feel as easy as you will in the coronary So let this wind carry me miles and miles and miles and miles away. For them it's the hardest thing to leave, but for me it's harder just to stay. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you. You try to see if you're standing still. You try to see if you're standing still in the coronary hills. In the coronary hills. In the coronary hills. And ooh, we'd run away from you. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you.
That's a new single from a band from Donegal, originally called Jacob's Plea. They're now called The Plea. The Plea. That's a song called Coronary Hills. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm still trying to think of the name of Michael McLeomore's film, which I know is on video. It's available because I bought it. I have it at home and I can't remember what the name of it. I remember the actor Michael McLeomore. A lot of people may not know who he is, but he's a classic actor. He lived in Dublin for a long time. As a matter of fact, I met him and his partner, Hilton Edwards, you know. They talk like that. I'm an actor, you know. I remember being in a place called Groom's Hotel in Dublin, which was an old actors' pub, and I was living in Dublin. I used to go there on a Monday night because I used to love watching the actors drink, because they were always very interesting, you know. I'll have another large brandy, please. Put it on my slate, will you? I'll be in on Friday to square you up. Thank you very much. But anyway, Michael McLeomore was sitting with his partner, Hilton Edwards, and they were talking to an American tourist. And I was earwigging, of course, listening from another table. And the American was saying things like, Michael McLeomore, I really enjoy your movies. It's a wonderful thrill to meet you today. I never thought I'd meet you. Tell me this, Mr. McLeomore. Yes, my boy, what can I do for you? He said, tell me this, Mr. McLeomore, how long have you been an entertainer? And Michael McLeomore stood up and he went, I'm not an entertainer. I'm an actor. Come, Hilton, leave these barbarians. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Sorry, I'm losing control here.
Yes.
Well, who's this now?
My name's Violet Moore and I'm in Coleraine.
Yes, Violet.
I really just wanted to put out a plea. I was on a flight from Stansted on Sunday night. It was a go flight leaving Stansted at 9:25. I checked my luggage into that flight and the luggage hasn't been seen since.
That's a very unusual thing for Ryanair.
No, it was Go, Gerry.
Oh, was it Go?
Go, yes. Ryanair flight from Stansted to Derry. Go from Stansted to Belfast.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
That's all right.
Yes, I'm sorry, because I always get that Ryanair one. Yeah, okay.
I I just wondered if the baggage had been on the flight, did anybody pick it up by mistake and maybe doesn't want to say that they have got it or something like that? The airline's obviously trying to trace it for me, and so far there's been no success. And I just wonder if anybody out there had picked up a wrong baggage.
Were you the only one who lost their luggage?
Well, yes, but there was a case on the flight that should have been in Glasgow, so...
oh, God.
You know.
Seems to me that maybe perhaps...
Well, anyway,
Mhm.
the airline are tracing, use a word tracer service, but so far nothing has come up. So I just wonder if anybody out there could help.
So it's a 9:25 from Stansted to
Yeah, to
Belfast City
yeah.
Airport, was it?
Belfast International.
International Airport, last Sunday night.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe somebody got the case and said, oh, this is a far better case than mine.
Well, maybe. If you look inside, they'll not say that, but...
Right.
So,
okay, well...
Anyway, I appreciate any help. So.
Okay, anyone out there who's done that, who's
There's
got...
a black
yeah?
grip bag with a pull handle, you pull up and pull behind you like a trolley.
Oh, I know those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know those. Okay, then. Well,
Okay.
let's hope for the best.
Thanks a lot for your
Okay.
help, Jay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. There we are. Found last night in the Bangor Newton Ards area a sum of money. Also, hello to Marie and John Jackson of Castle Gardens in Belfast. Thanks for the lift home. It was much appreciated. That's from Bria. Could you please play What's He Doing in There by Tom Waits for Edmund and give details of the CD? Oh, that's a CD I had a while ago. Funnily enough, I was talking about Tom Waits the other day, and I just brought a CD down with me, which is called, if I can find it, it's called The Asylum Years. Is it? Yes, it is. It's called Asylum Years. So I decided to play a track from this, which is one of the finest things that Tom Waits has ever done. It's called, Rod Stewart has actually covered it for some strange reason. But actually, the funny thing about Rod Stewart, I have to say this in his favour. Rod Stewart, no matter what they say about him, he knows a good song when he hears it. He covered this and had a hit with it. This is called Tom Trobert's Blues. This is Tom Waits. This is just a fabulous song. You either like it or you hate it. One or the other. Most of you'll hate it, probably. But I don't care. If there's two people out there who like it, that's enough for me. Have a listen to this.
Wasted and wounded, it ain't what the moon did. God, what I paid for now. See you tomorrow, if Frank can I borrow a couple of bucks from you to go waltzing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. I'm an innocent victim of a blinded alley, and I'm tired of all these soldiers here. No one speaks English and everything's broken, and my stasis are soaking wet. To go waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. Now the dogs are barking and the taxi cab's parking. A lot they can do for me. I begged you to stab me, you tore my shirt open, and I'm down on my knees tonight. Old Bushmills I stagger action anyhow. Go, old St. Matilda, old St. Matilda, you. Go, old St. Matilda, with me. And you can ask any sailor, and the keys from the jailer, and the old men in wheelchairs know that Matilda's the defendant. She killed about 100, and she follows wherever you may go. Old St. Matilda, old St. Matilda, you. Go, old St. Matilda, with me. And it's a battered old suitcase to a hotel someplace, and a wound that will never heal. No prima donna, the perfume is on an old shirt that is stained with blood and whiskey. And good night to the street sweepers, the night watchmen, flame keepers, and good night, Matilda, too.
Good night to the street keepers. Good night to the street sweepers, night watchers, flame keepers, and good night to Matilda too, eh? You won't hear Gareth Gates writing that stuff. That's Tom Trobert's Blues by Tom Waits. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You're going to be our last little caller today.
Oh, right. Gerry, you know the way sometimes there you get people ringing in about what I would term silly things, you know?
I would term them silly things too.
Yes, well,
have you got
I went into a bank yesterday, I'm not saying where it is or anything.
Okay.
To do a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And because I hadn't a lodgement book, I needed what was known as an automated payment.
Yes.
It meant them typing in the sort code and account number and my name.
Mm-hmm.
So the man that was serving me said to me, you know, by the time I do this, I could have 4 customers served.
Oh, cheeky article.
And I was taken aback and I said to him, are you saying that is trouble, you know?
Too much
he says,
trouble.
well, it is time consuming for what I need to do. He says, you know, we could have 3 or 4 people served here. And I says, well, the only thing came into my head to say to him was, I says, you know, you must lead very empty lives.
Mm.
You know, if that is all that you're bothered about.
What did he say to that?
He says, you know, well, I'm not flying aeroplanes. He says, but we have done a survey in our bank and people don't like queuing.
He sounds like one cheeky wee pup.
I couldn't believe it. You know, and I said to myself, you know, last night, I said, God, that's another one for Gerry Anderson.
Absolutely, a cheeky wee pup he
But
is.
I can tell you, I won't be back.
If I was the manager of that bank, he'd be out so fast his feet wouldn't touch the ground.
Well, I'm just waiting. I have to go to call or see the manager today.
You tell the manager on him.
You know, because...
Go on, tell the manager on him, yeah.
You know, it's the way I look at it, Gerry, it's like someone is serving in a shop, you know,
Exactly.
and somebody maybe paying by cheque or whatever, and maybe 3 people having cash. They're not going to say to the person, well, you know, you're taking up my time by writing that. I could have 3 other people served.
It's just a cheeky wee yerp.
You know,
tell the manager on him. He deserves it.
Typical bank, isn't it?
I know, they think they're better than us.
Well, I suppose if you had a big bank account, you'd be all right.
Yeah, but most of those, we probably have more money than he has.
Pardon?
You probably have more money than he has.
I wouldn't think so, Gerry. I wouldn't think it.
He probably knows that.
But I thought that, I just would ring you and give you that one for your collection.
That's right, Jeff. You tell the manager on it. Don't let him away with that.
Just before I go,
Uh-huh.
you played a record by Johnny Cash.
Mhm.
I've heard it a couple of times on the show, and I know your wee friend Hugo has played it as well. Was it to do with the brain transplant or
Yes,
something?
indeed, brain transplant. Hugo's queuing for one. Hugo's at the moment waiting for one.
No, don't be like that.
No, Hugo doesn't mind.
Right.
Maybe he does, but I'm sorry if you if
Well,
you do.
maybe someday next week.
It's called Chicken in Black.
I don't know what it's called.
That's what it's called, Chicken in Black.
Yeah.
I'll play that for you someday next week.
Someday next week when you haven't a lot on.
I certainly will. There's never a lot on any day, really.
And what about Sean? When's he coming back?
I do believe he'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. I miss Sean,
I don't, funnily enough.
I could do.
No, I don't.
No, I like the banter between the two of you.
I'm fed up with it, but I suppose I'll have to talk to him when he comes back.
I do. You see, I listen to the show every morning, and I miss Sean.
All right, and I'm sorry to hear
make
that.
a nice double act.
I know. He's like a barnacle.
Huh?
He's like a barnacle on a hulk.
Oh, right.
No, I'll be back tomorrow.
That's good.
Okay.
Good. Right, Gerry.
Right then, you get that wee fella. Get the manager to put a rocket up him.
Well, I just thought that would be one for your collection.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, now.
I need to hear examples of cheekiness. Okay, thank you very
right,
much.
Right, Gerry. Bye now.
Bye. Bye. The cheeky wee nerp. If it was me, I'd withdraw all my money. All £3. I'd say, I'll take this to another organisation.
I was motivated over the hill. I saw Maybelline in a Cooleyville. Cadillac rolling in the open road. Nothing but I run my V8 Ford. Cadillac doing about 95. Rolling bumper to bumper and side by side. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You started back doing the thing that you used to do. Cadillac put up, had the four. Fuck up, I wouldn't do no more. Then got cloudy and it started to rain. I took to my home for the peasant lane. Rainwater blowing all under my hood. Sure was doing my motor good Maybelline. Why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You started back doing the thing that you used to do. He went down, then went up the highway sound. Cadillac sitting like a ton of land, 110 half a mile ahead. Cadillac looked like sitting still. I caught Maybelline on the top of the hill. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You started back doing the thing you used to do. Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? Why can't you be true? You started back doing the thing you used to do. You started back doing the thing you used to do. You started back doing the thing that you used to do. Maybelline.
That's Dutch blues singer Hans Thiesink, song called Maybelline. That's from an album called Call Me. That's all we have time for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning exactly 10:30. It is now exactly 12 o'clock.